Hey, Ryan here from Modula Racks. Just going to install a Class 3 trailer hitch, Curt Part Number 13356. This is for a Toyota Venza. We're doing this particular one, which is an all-wheel drive model for a bike rack on this customer's vehicle. So on pretty much all trailer hitches that require hardware, you're going to find it taped up. I've cut the tape off inside the receiver tube here. You'll have your instructions and any hardware necessary for doing the hitch installation. So we're going to go ahead and open this up and see what our instructions say for the installation on this Toyota Venza. So this hitch comes with 6 M10 by 1.25 by 40 mil hex bolts, and then we have 6 conical washers, basically conical tooth, meaning that they have a little tooth, basically a little edge on them, and they're conical shaped, so they're going to go on to your bolts, your hex bolts, in this fashion. Basically it's going to lock them in place and bite everything tight so it can't come loose. We have 6 of those, and then we have 2 sway bar mount spacers, which are these guys here. If the Toyota Venza is a 4-wheel drive model, you'll require these, which we'll hopefully show you underneath the car, to space out the sway bar, only on the 4-wheel drive models. Alright, so the Curt hitch for the Toyota Venza has a 3,500 pound gross trailer weight and a 350 pound tongue weight. Basically tongue weight meaning the downward pressure on the receiver tube here. So this will work great for our bike racks, as most bike racks are rated to call it about 40 pounds on average per bike. A 4-bike rack, you're talking 160 pounds plus a bike rack at another 40 pounds, maybe a couple hundred pounds tongue weight. So you put a trailer hitch in here and you got up to 200 pounds tongue weight pushing down. So this Class 3 hitch is going to do the trick perfect for us. So we're going to have a look under the car here. We're under the Toyota Venza here now, and we're going to have to remove the muffler. To do so, we've got a mount here. We're on the driver's side right now, and a second one at the front. These things you can basically just push off. You're not going to do it with your hand. There is a muffler hanger tool that will help you greatly with getting these off, or pry bar, anything will do. A little bit of WD-40 on here and just around to give us some lubricant to come off, makes the job far easier and quicker. This one you have to pry it off. This one here, if you want, there are some 10 mil bolts holding that hanger up. You could release those if you please. And it's going to be the same on the other side here. Same thing at the very back of the car, and then one more at the front of the exhaust. That's going to give us access to our factory weld nuts in here. 1, 2, and I believe 3 for the vehicle. This one here has, because this is the all-wheel drive model, it actually has a sway bar bracket. So the 2-wheel drive model, you're going to have just a black sticker over this last one. But the 4-wheel drive models have a sway bar here, so we're going to have to remove this and then use that spacer we showed earlier. Okay, so we've got the muffler here down from our Toyota Venza, and we've removed our sway bar bracket, which basically went here to the sway bar and up to the forwardmost weld nut. So we've taken the 2 14 mil bolt and down here nut off and removed this sway bar bracket. We've also taken the stickers off of the forward or the rearward most weld nuts. Really nice that Toyota puts the stickers on here because it keeps them nice and clean. You don't get undercoat in them if the vehicle has been undercoated, which means you don't need to run a tap through here or even put any WD-40 or anything in there to get your trailer hitch bolts in. So we're going to end up doing the same thing on the other side. As you can see here, we still have the 2 stickers in place, leaving this rubber one. We're not using that one. And then we'll remove our sway bar bracket here as well. And then we'll raise our hitch into position. So we have our hitch raised into position, and we've put in, using the supplied hex bolts into the factory weld nuts. On this side, we've left the last one out just to show you quickly what needs to happen with the sway bar bracket. So our sway bar bracket here normally bolts into this position when the hitch isn't there. But what's going to happen, because we have an extra 1/4 inch or so of material, we now need to place a spacer in this factory position here to keep all the geometry the same. We'll show you on the other side quickly, because we've installed that one. So here you can see we've used the supplied factory hex nut in where the, not the factory hex nut, sorry, the supplied one with the hitch. We've removed the factory one. We have used the original factory bolt here, and then we've replaced or input the supplied spacer so that it's making up for the difference of where the hitch was here, as this whole bracket has dropped about 1/4 inch. So we're going to complete that on the other side, and then we will torque everything to spec and put our muffler back into position. All right, and that concludes the Curt trailer hitch installation class 3 on our Toyota Venza. We've raised our hitch, or sorry, our exhaust back into position, hanging it on our exhaust hanger mounts here. Again, don't skip the step of putting a little WD-40 on these things. They are a pain otherwise. Little WD-40 makes these things slide on and off, no problem. Something we did note is that this back hanger is quite tight. And you can see we got a few marks on the hitch here, which we'll clean up. But getting this exhaust past the hitch when you're raising it is a little bit tricky. But there is a flex joint in the exhaust here, which allows you to essentially take this hitch and rotate it slightly, which basically bringing the far passenger side end away from the vehicle, and allows you to just sneak this hanger up past the hitch once it's in place. And then the other side wasn't too bad. Also, there is, besides the 2 hangers on either side of the exhaust, there is a 5th one just back here, which you'll also want to remove to get your exhaust low enough. And it's always a good idea to either put your exhaust on a small jack stand, a block, or strap it up so it doesn't hang down too far and break anything. We've got all the bolts in, torqued to spec. We have our sway bar bracket back in place with the provided spacer, and again, everything torqued back to spec. And this customer is ready to go and put their bike rack in place.